Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. It's your boy Jay Nark, aka Chris World. Today we are rebuilding the Denver Broncos, but with Teddy B, Teddy Bridgewater, the GOAT. And he got traded to the Broncos in the offseason because, you know, the Panthers moved on from him and traded for Sam Darnold. So he's a 78 overall, and Drew Lock is his backup. Instead, we're going to focus this rebuild around Teddy B and see if they'll have some success. So this is what the team looks like. A pretty solid looking offense for sure. Like, good amount of running backs. Noah Fant, a great young tight end. A solid offensive line, not the greatest. And the defense needs some work, of course. I like the secondary for sure. The secondary is pretty locked down. I feel like the Broncos always have a great secondary for some reason. And as of recently, because they had no fly zone with Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., and they had, what's his name? Darian Stewart and TJ Ward. Love those boys. I loved watching that Broncos team. And then the D-line's not the greatest, but we'll probably sign like one or two people, which I'll probably do right now, considering that why not? So D tackle, Mike Pennell, feel like he'll help out with the team. So we'll sign him to a deal just to make sure we have someone that's not that bad, you know. But without further ado, guys, let's sim to the playoffs and see how well we perform. So we didn't make the playoffs. We ended up going 6-10 in our first year of Teddy B. So let's see why we went 6-10 and see what happened statistically. So our offense was 13th. So our offense wasn't bad. Our offense was not bad. Our defense was 27th. That's where it was. Teddy B threw 32 touchdowns, 13 picks, 4K passing yards, 59 completion percentage, 94.3 passer rating. Melvin Gordon almost had 1,000 yards. Not too bad. Our rookie running back had 7 TDs behind him. Cortland Sutton had 1,200 yards, 11 TDs. Jerry Judy had 743 yards, 4 TDs. Noah Fant and Tim Patrick. So our receivers did really well. Von Miller had 13.5 sacks, but it still looks like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough pass rushing. Bradley Chubb only had 3 sacks, so that's an issue, of course. And we had a good amount of interceptions, but not a lot. So it's the defense that really needed help from the looks of it. So that's what we're gonna have to take care of. Super Bowl is Browns, Bears. Javonte Williams is back from injury. Browns end up winning 24-3. Ronnie Harrison Jr. won Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. No one from our Broncos won anything, so we have 8 players ready to negotiate with. We have Deshaun Williams. Looks like a depth DN. We don't even have the cap space to re-sign any of these guys, so we're going to obviously let them all go. And we're into the first week of free agency. We don't even have the funds necessary for it, so it's kind of just like we're just going to have to work with what we have. Von Miller, we're definitely keeping around, of course. All these guys here, I mean, like, can't even get rid of Teddy B if we wanted to, so that's out of the equation. Yeah, honestly, everyone that's on the team is probably just set to stay another season, so we're gonna just rebuild during the draft and see if we have better luck with that. So we have the 7th pick in the draft. We're not looking for a quarterback, so I want to see who's on the draft board as players. So they have a pass rusher here, some defensive linemen. Okay, so I think that's the route that we should go, like a pass rush and D lineman. So we have the 7th pick in the draft. We're not looking to draft a quarterback or anything of that likes. So we have a D end here. His name is Reggie Downing. He's a mid-first rounder. He's a power rusher. We also have Thomas Phillips, mid-first rounder. We don't need a running back, so let's go by. So front 7, I feel like should be what we look into. Chris Brown, Chris Brown. So there's not really any right ends. They do have a D tackle here, though. They have a kid named Antoine Barrett. He's a late first rounder. If he's still around, we could definitely try picking him up. We also have Sheldon Royal. So there's some good D tackles sitting here. But let's see if one of these left ends will be the key here. We have Devon Windsor, mid-first rounder, left end. We have Reggie Downing, mid-first rounder. And we also have Chase Fontaine, who's a late first rounder. So they got a good amount of left ends available for sure. And let's see if there's any offensive linemen available. So right tackle, there's nothing. Guard, we already have a good guard. So center, we could draft the center in Matt Shields. He's an early first rounder. I don't think that would be too bad getting a center. So before we pick that, let's see what Lloyd Cushenberry's overall is before we make that move. So Lloyd Cushenberry is now 71. We could honestly trade him. So we're gonna draft that center. And we're gonna see if we can what we could get out of Lloyd Cushenberry. But for right now, we're going to draft Matt Shields, 76 overall center, perfect, 7th overall pick. That's pretty solid. So we bump up the offensive line. Now that we're in the second round here, I want to see if any of those DNs are available still, because that's one position I definitely still want to work on. So Chase Fontaine is still here. D tackles, Antoine Barrett is here too. So I'm gonna go Antoine Barrett because we do need D tackles. So we pick him up, and then right now I'm gonna just trade away Lloyd Cushenberry, see if we could get like a center. I mean, not a center, like a tackle out of him. Lloyd Cushenberry, if he has any interest from any teams. So he's got interest from the Niners, and so we're just looking for a backup tackle, or not a backup tackle, but a tackle that's worth it, like McGlinchey. So we'd give them Lloyd Cushenberry and McGlinchey, Lloyd Cushenberry and our 3rd round pick for McGlinchey. If that goes through, that'd be pretty solid. So we just picked up a new right tackle, so that helps out the offensive line tremendously. So now I don't think there's any other picks I'm focused on, so we're gonna advance to the end of the draft. So now looking at the draft recap. So we ended up drafting another D tackle, a right end, a fullback, a tackle, and a left end. So we addressed a lot of the front 7, got some young guys, not too bad. So now that we picked up Mike McGlinchey, bumped up the offensive line, our team should be looking way better now, as we have a better offensive line to protect. We also have Juwan James back, so we could also trade him. Forgot that he was on the team. So now that we have a good set of tackles, let's see, Juwan Williams. They just said Juwan Williams was on the team, but isn't he a right tackle? Juwan James, right? I must be seeing things. I could have sworn it said Juwan James is available again. Oh, they have him as a punter. Ah, I see. So, okay. Makes sense. So we're going to have to end up releasing him, of course. He's a punter, so it's not going to do us any favors by having him on the team. So we're just going to release him. And then we have Duke Dawson back from injury, so he's going to back up Kareem Jackson. Corners, we have some good corners here. We got 5 solid corners here, 6 if we want to really count it. And Bradley Chubb is in his 2nd year, or in his 3rd year now, so hopefully he performs. Our middle linebackers are good. Left side we have Von Miller, of course, and Malik Reed backing him up. D tackles isn't the greatest. We have Antoine Barrett and Kai Kelly, so 2 rookies starting there. And we also have Shamar Steffen. And then right end we have Shelby Harris, who's back from injury, I assume, which is pretty nice to have. And then we have Draymond Jones. So hopefully our D-line could perform way better than it did before. And we're going to just release Bobby Massey because we do not need him. But if we could trade him for a D tackle, maybe that could work out. So let's see what D tackles are available. We'll trade away Bobby Massey for a D tackle. Let's see. See if Bobby Massey attracts anyone. If not, we're just going to cut him. Okay, so from the looks of it, we're just going to cut Bobby Massey from the squad, which is okay because we traded for Mike McGlinchey, so now we have that secure right tackle who's only, I think he's only 24, right? No, he's 26, so pretty solid though still. And so let's take a look at the team now. Teddy B is an 80 overall. Melvin Gordon is in his second stint with the team. Cortland Sutton is an 86. Jerry Jeudy is 82. Our receivers are pretty good. Offensive line is pretty good. We just drafted that 1st round center in Matt Shields. Noah Fant is progressing pretty nicely. Defense, we got that rookie and Barrett, so hopefully he performs well. I'm going to put a lot of hopes onto him, so to see if they can do something. But without further ado, let's see how we do in this year, and let's into the playoffs. So we went 9-7. And that's pretty solid. We finished 2nd behind the Chiefs. And our offense was 13th. Teddy B was 5th in passing touchdowns. Our defense was 12th in yards. So Teddy B, 37 touchdowns, 7 picks, 109.6 passer rating, 66 completion percentage. Javonte Williams had 10 TDs, 793 yards. And Melvin Gordon had 526 yards, 5 TDs. So obviously Melvin Gordon must have gotten injured. Cortland Sutton had 1,000 yards. Jerry Jeudy had 55 catches, 482 yards, 4 TDs. Noah Fant, 8 touchdowns, 840 yards. Tim Patrick, 11 TDs, 902 yards. And then Cortland Sutton had 1,000 yards again, of course. Our defense, Von Miller went crazy. He had 18 sacks. Shelby Harris had 6.5. Draymond Jones had 5. Bradley Chubb had 4.5. And then our interceptions, we had a great amount of interceptions. Von Miller did his thing, though, with 18 sacks. and then our defense was 12th, and that's pretty solid. So we had a pretty good year. We're facing the Browns in the first game, and we lost 28-17, of course. So that's fun. That's fun. I know Von Miller's probably like upset, but we did make the playoffs though, which is pretty solid. The offensive line is looking pretty good. Our offense is looking really good. Defense, Von Miller's only getting older, so that's the only downside of that. He's only getting older. So, and Kareem Jackson just went down tremendously too in overall. And let's advance to next week. Let's see who made the Pro Bowl. So in the AFC, we had Cortland Sutton made it. Offensive line, none of our guys made it. D-line, Von Miller made it. That's pretty solid. None of our guys in our secondary. So it was just like Von Miller and it's just Von Miller, which is kind of crazy. So Super Bowl is Saints Browns, and let's see who takes that. So Browns win the Super Bowl again. So Browns are a workhorse. They're killing us. Aaron Rodgers won MVP again. So the Browns are the team to beat. We have 19 players ready to negotiate. Von Miller, definitely want to re-sign him. Great guy. He's the cornerstone of this team. He's a beast. We're going to give him an offer, but he wants to test out free agency. Melvin Gordon, we're going to let walk. Cortland Sutton, we're going to re-sign him. He's been performing really well for us. Bradley Chubb hasn't done much of anything, so I'm going to re-sign Mike McGlinchey for right now because he's been pretty solid. Bryce Callahan, we're going to let walk. Malik Reed, we're going to sign him because he's the insurance policy for Von Miller. Josie Jewell has been pretty solid too, so we're going to just re-sign him. Royce Freeman, we're going to re-sign him. Okay, so he wants to walk. Deshaun Hamilton is a great depth receiver, so I think we should re-sign him. Nate Harrison is a depth corner, so we're going to have to re-sign him since Bryce Callahan is walking, but he wants to go. Duke Dawson Jr., let's see how you perform. We're going to re-sign him. Rest of these guys we're going to let go, but I'm not allowed to use the franchise tag on someone because Bradley Chubb has not performed how we want him to. And Von Miller is going to be $22 million for cap hit. And so we might just let him go, attract someone in free agency just so he could have a better chance at like winning a Super Bowl. Bradley Chubb wants a 7-year deal. He hasn't performed well, but I'm going to give him another chance. But he wants to test out free agency. If we franchise tag him, it'll be $13 million. So we're going to franchise tag Bradley Chubb, and we're going to let Von Miller go. So that's a big move that we're making. But it's all just to see if we could make a power move, you know? Just do something because Von Miller obviously didn't want to re-sign, which I totally understand because I wouldn't re-sign either if you're doing all this and we can't even get a dub that we need. So it only makes sense. But let's see if we got one more year that I'm willing to look at this team, see what we could do here. So we're not going to sign anyone in free agency. So we're going to pick 23, and let's see what they got going on there. So pick 23. So they got quarterbacks available, and they got a middle linebacker here. I feel like going for a middle linebacker would be pretty solid. They got 3. They got Glenn Allison. They have Bryce Pierce, who's an early first rounder, and they have Cassidy Pierce, who's a late first rounder. I'm gonna go Bryce Pierce because he looks pretty solid. He's 75 overall, pretty solid. They're gonna be a new Mike for the defense. We're going to our next pick, and so next here, so we could get a new left outside linebacker to back up Malik Reed, and I think that's gonna be the move here. Dom Townsend, he'll be backing up Malik Reed as we have that new pass rushing unit, you know, because we had to move on from Von Miller just to give him a chance at winning a Super Bowl. Now that we're in the second round here, so I'm looking at a right end who's a first round talent, late first rounder. Let's go for him, Kimani Barnes, pretty solid. And we're gonna leave the rest of the draft up to the simulation. Draft recap, pretty solid, and okay, not too bad, you know, makes sense. There's some depth positions, of course. So let's look at the first week of the preseason, what the team is looking like. So let's upgrade the players. Ricky Alman is still sitting on the team here, and this is what the offense looks like. Pretty solid, not gonna lie. We're just gonna have to draft like sign a backup running back and some offensive linemen and a tackle too from the looks of it. D-line is still pretty set. Corners are pretty set too. So let's see what we can do here. See what free agents are available. Just need a number 2 tight end. So we're gonna sign Logan Thomas to be the number 2. Just need to make sure we have some backup tackles and guards, you know. So Rick Wagner is gonna be a backup tackle for us, and then we're gonna sign a backup guard like Lucas Patrick. And then I feel like we don't have a backup strong safety. So we're going to sign Malcolm Jenkins. He'll be the run support safety. And then, oh, we need a backup running back as well, too. That's the one position I forgot. I feel like Javonte Williams is going to have a good year. And so we're going to sign someone like Trey Sermon to back him up. Hopefully he performs pretty well. And then so after signing those guys here, let's take a look at the squad here. This is what the squad looks like as we enter this 3rd year. See if Teddy B can get this job done and help them push over the hump of making the playoffs. And Von Miller, who had 18 sacks. We have a new guy now, Malik Reed. So Bradley Chubb's gonna have to be the guy that takes over. So we're gonna see if we fix up the scheme here. Maybe if it gets our guys some love on the defensive side, just to make sure Bradley Chubb flourishes properly. So we're gonna change it again, just to see if it fits a scheme somewhere. Like, so if we go base 3-4. Let's see what it does for the defense. So boom, it works for Bradley Chubb. So I just want to make sure the scheme fits for him perfectly, just so he can get that pass rush that we need. And so hopefully he performs better by doing that. So without further ado, ladies and gents, let's into the playoffs and see how well we perform. So we didn't make the playoffs. We ended up going 6-10 again. So that's obviously not a good sign. That's obviously not a good sign that we went 6-10. And let's see what happened to let's see how we did statistically. So our offense was 13th again. Teddy B did his thing. So Teddy B is obviously the answer. But our defense is 29th. 36 touchdowns, 12 picks for Teddy B. Running backs didn't do much of anything, so that's a problem. Receivers, Tim Patrick, Courtland Sutton, 8. These guys did their thing. Defense, though, I'm thinking we didn't do too well. Bradley Chubb had 9 sacks, so obviously that worked out well, putting him in that position. And D-line, okay, so it makes sense. We didn't get that much pass rush that we needed. And, okay, that makes sense. Chris Worthy's available to play again. So let's send to the Super Bowl. I'm thinking maybe if we change up one more thing. Super Bowl is Bengals, Seahawks. Let's see who takes that. So the Bengals won 24-14. If you look at the recap, no one from the Broncos won anything. Joe Burrow won Super Bowl MVP. 20 players are ready to negotiate. So Bradley Chubb, I forgot we did franchise tag him. Justin Simmons is back onto the team, so we're gonna see if we give him a deal. We get him back. We got Bradley Chubb here. Bradley Chubb, let's give you a deal. He thinks free agency will be better for him. We're gonna franchise tag him one more time. Noah Fant, great tight end for us. We're gonna see if we could re-sign him too. Give him a solid deal. We got Kyle Fuller. Give him a 1-year deal, just because he's getting older, but a 1-year deal. But he wants to test out free agency. Dalton Risner, our starting left guard. Let me see if we can get him back onto the team. We do. Tim Patrick, who's been pretty solid for us. We're gonna see if we re-sign him. And we got Teddy B. He wants a 3-year deal. We're gonna have to give it to him, of course. He's been playing pretty solid, so let's give it to him. He's gonna test out free agency, so we lose him. Ronald Darby, we're gonna give him a 1-year as well too. And Javonte Williams, we're gonna give him a deal just to keep him around. Patrick Surtain, our cornerback, PS2. We're gonna re-sign him to the deal. We get him back. Draymond Jones hasn't done much of anything, but we're gonna keep him around because he's asking for a cheap deal. Trey Sermon, we're gonna re-sign him too. Hopefully they can be better as our combo in the backfield. Alexander Johnson, we're gonna let go, and these are the backups. So we got Drew Lock here. So if we give him a deal, he would like to play for a new team next year. So you're telling me we have to go for a new quarterback? This man's Drew Lock was just a whole backup for 4 years, and you're telling me you're gonna go test? Okay, bro. Okay, let's see how that works. Let's see how that works. We have $32 million available. We need a quarterback. And so Zach Wilson's a free agent. So, I mean, Teddy B's generating offers from everywhere, but Zach Wilson's a free agent. So I'm going to give him a deal. And let's see how that goes. We give Zach Wilson a deal. Okay. Perfect. Like, they're idiots if they're not going to come back to the team. Like, why wouldn't you come back? Left end is good. D tackle is good. Right end, we have Kemontae Barnes. Linebackers, we have Townsend, who looks like a beast. Defense is looking pretty solid, I'd say. We need a strong safety, so we're going to just see if we can sign Jaquiski Tartt to a deal. We're going to have to end up drafting someone for sure at that safety position, which is okay with me. So let's see if we pick up Zach Wilson. We pick up Zach Wilson, so Zach Wilson's a Bronco now. And I'm not even going to pick up any fifth-year options for these. Let's start the draft. So we obviously need like a strong safety. So we have the 10th pick in the draft, so hopefully we could draft someone. That's pretty solid. Available. Strong safety. So corners. So we could obviously go a corner here. They got Brandon Graham, early first rounder. We're going to pick him up. 77 overall. He's going to help out tremendously with the team. And then let's go our next pick. We can go with another middle linebacker again if we want to, if that's the route we choose to go. We can go running back too. D tackle, we got Harvey Sharp, late first rounder. I'm going to pick him up, 71 overall, provides depth to the team. And then we're going to sim to the end of the draft. So we take a look at the draft recap. We're getting a tight end, a running back, a cornerback, a quarterback, and another cornerback. So we basically shored up our needs of the team. And let's go to first week of preseason. So we have Zach Wilson now leading the charge for this team. So who knows how he's going to perform, but he has the crew necessary to succeed. Definitely a great offense, and defense is pretty solid too. I'm going to start Townsend over Malik Reed because Townsend's a 75 and he has superstar X factor. So that's obviously we're going to have to go that route, but we just need a strong safety just so Duke Dawson isn't by himself. So at strong safety, they have Jaquiski Tartt. What's $2 million? Pretty solid. We're going to pick him up just so we have that depth. So we do that. So let's see how we perform. So we actually didn't make the playoffs again. We ended up going 8-8, but so did everyone else in the division. But so that means we couldn't make the playoffs because the Chiefs went 11-5. Broncos are a very interesting team. I feel like with the right coaching, they'll definitely be very strong. So their offense was 4th. Zach Wilson was 2nd in passing yards and 9th in passing TDs, and the defense was 25th. 34 touchdowns, 13 picks for Zach Wilson. Pretty solid year. Javonte Williams and Trey Sermon did their thing. All other receivers 8, of course. Defense, Bradley Chubb only had 8.5 sacks. So Bradley Chubb isn't the answer from the looks of it. So, and we got a lot of interceptions for the defense though. 2 of our corners had 7 picks total, so that's really nice to see. But we couldn't make the playoffs, but our offense was 4th, so that's pretty surprising. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment down below what other teams you want to see me rebuild. We're getting closer and closer to Madden 22 dropping, so I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys enjoyed watching the video, make sure to hit the like button. And remember, guys, you gotta be if you can succeed. Peace.